Welcome back, everybody, to the Cowboy Slot Channel. My name's Brantley. This is Mark, and we are here to answer your questions. This is the Sunday Slots 101 show, episode number 9. Welcome, everybody. We're so glad that you could be here today. Just a really quick, before we do get started, just a reminder out there. If you're new to this channel or just getting started, or if you haven't yet checked out our website, check it out. It's really a lot of fun. There's a lot of great information and resources on there, and very, very helpful guide to finding a lot of those videos that you guys are looking for. So all you have to do, visit ropethejackpot.com/start, and that'll get you started. Anyway, guys, that's really all the intro that I have, but Mark has some things that he wanted to talk about before we dive into the Q&A. You guys can go ahead and start lining those questions up. We'll jump right into the Q&A here shortly, but for now, I'm going to hand it off to Mark.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Brantley. So, yeah, guys, this is the Slots 101 talk. So, if you need, we see some new names in there. So, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you guys. So, this show we really dive into the easy. I say easy to answer questions, but sometimes they're not so easy. But really, if you have any questions that may have been asked before, or you're still a little bit confused and you want to hear a little bit more about it, this is the show for you. We also try to break things down in very simple terms, so it's kind of easy to understand and digest. So this is what this show is about. But anyway, we wanted to remind you of a couple of things, some recent events that occurred on the channel in case you haven't had a chance to check it out. The first is an amazing IGT interview that we did. We did this, I think, about 3 weeks ago, and we published it this week. And guys, I can't stress enough how important this video is. Not only just the importance of it, but it's actually very educational and some really cool stories in there. If you guys are IGT fans, or even if you're not, or you don't even know what IGT is, it is the biggest slot manufacturer that exists. We sat down with a guy that is vice president of global innovation, and basically the guy that created a lot of the titles that we still play today, from Top Dollar to Pinball, Wheel of Fortune, all these. This is the guy that actually sat down and made all of those games come together. These would not be here without him. And so we were very fortunate to be able to sit down with him and ask him a lot of questions about myth busting, how slot machines work, but also how some of this stuff started, and even announced a new game coming out that we're both really excited about, that's coming out this fall. We were the first to be able to hear about it. So the first public announcement was on that interview. So if you haven't seen it yet, I highly encourage you to go check it out because it was really cool. I've actually watched it probably 5 or 6 times, not because I wanted to see myself talk, but it's just a really good interview, and it's just so fascinating to listen to. So, and the second thing I wanted to mention, and I don't have a card for this, but we also had our first in-person seminar at Seven Feathers Casino last week, and it was fantastic, guys. We got a lot of good feedback from the people who were there. We really want to start touring around and go to other casinos and do the same thing. We are all about slot education here, as you guys know. That's why this channel exists, and that's what we did. We actually did a seminar for 2 hours. We had a lot of fun. We did a lot of hands-on stuff to try to make sense of all this slot machine stuff that we constantly talk about, but also focusing on budget and the build-up method that's worked for so many people. And we see you in the chat right now telling us some of your stories, which is awesome. We love hearing that. But anyway, if you are interested in listening to that seminar, it is at ropethejackpot.com/seminar, and you can go see it full. We fixed the audio. We had some live audio issues, but we went back and remastered it, and now you can listen to it with full audio, and we think it came out really great. So last thing I'll mention on that is, if you guys do want us to come, we need your help. We are reaching out to casinos, but we really need your help to let them know about us and what we do. Talk to your marketing people. If you have a host, talk to your host and say, hey, we really want Cowboy Slots to come in here, and have them reach out to us. They can go to our website and fill out the contact form, or they can email us at info@ropethejackpot.com. And either way, we would love to start working with them to see if we can come out and maybe set up a seminar as well. But we do have to work with them because of recording rules and, stuff that goes into, liability insurance, all that stuff that goes into hosting an event like that. We have to work through the details. We can't just show up, unfortunately. So we really would appreciate your help if you guys can help us out, because we would love to visit you guys. I know everybody's saying, hey, when are you visiting here? When are you visiting here? It's like, we want to get out there, but we need your help. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into it. And Brantley, I'll let you start taking some questions here.
All
and let's have
right.
an awesome show, guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of good questions in here, a lot of new people, so welcome to everybody. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start our Q&A. We're going to start off with Peter here. Hey, Cowboys, if you press the play button rapidly and happen to win a jackpot, does the machine let you know, or it continues with the first spin until the reels stop? So even if you fast stop the machine, if you do happen to hit a jackpot, it's going to, continue its jackpot cycle however it normally would during normal play. So whether that be a lockup or some kind of special song and dance, whatever that might be, it's just going to continue to do that. And then also remember, just touching on that, fast stopping the reels does nothing for the game. It doesn't increase your chances of a jackpot or anything like that. That is something that was covered in that IGT interview. So very, very good episode to go and check out. And another comment from Peter, the build-up method surely works. Hit a hand pay from a $50 bankroll. Congratulations. That is pretty good, starting with $50 and going away with a hand pay. That's wonderful. We love hearing this, guys. We really do love hearing this. And I'm going to go through a couple more here from Steven. Steven says, brand new Eagle Mountain Casino here in Porterville. They have the $1 5-line top dollar. Is that a good or a bad game? It is a good game to play. Now, as Mark has also specified too, if it's the old school 5-line regular top dollar, not double top dollar, but regular top dollar 5-line, then yes, it is a very, very good game to play. The regular 5-line top dollar is the best version of top dollar to play. And I'll hand it off to you, Mark.
All right, sounds good. Bye. Boy, lots of great questions coming in, guys. I'm just reading them as Brantley was talking there, so awesome. And that's a good bingo says, why do some machines not allow you to use free play? We actually saw this a lot at Seven Feathers, but it's in pretty much every casino has this. You'll see a little badge that says free play is not allowed on this machine. There's a lot of different reasons. You might typically find this on games that have a wide area progressive like Megabucks or Wheel of Fortune. But they also exist on games that are leased, or the manufacturer has certain rules on what can and cannot be allowed on there. There's just a lot of different things that could go into that. This, I think probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brantley, but I think it's mostly because of the lease agreements. If it's a shared game,
it's usually participation.
Yeah, participation game, which means that the vendor is participating along with the casino in hosting that game on the floor. Then free play is typically not allowed. So I have found these to be on the newer machines, the more expensive looking machines, not the old ones. And it's probably because of that participation in leasing. All right. And hey, Stephen, Annie are here. Say, hey, Mark, hey, Brantley, what's the largest jackpot both of you have ever won? Game and bet denom. Well, it is now Thundercash. We won the major while we were at Seven Feathers for, was it 9136, something like that, which was really cool to see. And that was a $10 bet. So we did pretty good that night that we were there. So Brantley, what about you?
So my largest was about 85,000, but that was years and years ago. That was on a triple diamond $25 denom with a progressive. So that's been many, many years ago, way before the channel, but that was mine. Very good question. Thank you for that. We do have several super chats coming in, so I'm going to go through these super chats here. Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate it. First one, $4.99 from Jordan. Jordan, thank you very much. Found your channel a few weeks ago. Love it. Have you played the Blazing Sevens with Quick Hits High Limit Edition yet? Would love to see a video review. I have not played that one yet. And I believe, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Aria just got it. So I believe it might be at Aria now. Next time I'm down in Vegas, we will definitely check it out. It's a great game. I know Stacy and Greg, Stacy's High Limit Slots, they have some videos on there where they've actually played it, and they've gotten plenty of really, really good hits on that game. $9.99 from Connie. Connie, thank you very much. I saw both the seminar video and the interview with IGT. You killed it. Great info and very entertaining. Thank you. You are very welcome, and thank you very much for the super chat. We really do appreciate it. $20 from Lisa. Lisa, thank you very much. I'm about 2 weeks away from my Vegas trip, and I'm so grateful for you both. Being educated is going to make all the difference. So thank you. And thank you, Lisa, for your generous donation. $4.99 from Erica. Erica, thank you. Does pinball and top dollar machines have less pay line hits than regular double diamond machine? This is a good question. Thank you very much for this question and for your super chat. So The line hits on this are going to be less simply just because you've added an additional symbol to that third reel. So for actual line hits, you'll notice, especially watching a lot of videos on Pinball and Top Dollar, it's pretty difficult to get really a good line hit combination. Typically, you're just playing that just to get the bonus. I have gotten several hand pays on just regular line hits as well. I did get 6,400. Actually, at the Shoshone Rose Casino, it was double, triple bar on pinball. So that was really good. So, yes, the line hits are a little bit more limited, but still very, very good. And thank you very much for that question. We appreciate it. 1999 from Clever Girl. Clever Girl, thank you so much. You guys are rocking it with these super chats
thank
today.
you guys. You guys are so generous.
Got a snack just in case. IGT interview was fab. Nicely done. You are very welcome. We really do appreciate that. Guys, this interview was incredible. And like Mark said, the biggest thing about this interview that is such a breakthrough is when we sat down to do this interview with IGT, this is not a marketing person. This is not a spokesperson. This is not a casino person. This is someone who actually made the game. Like he made the game. He did the math. He did the design, how it plays. He made the game, and he listed off in his intro several games that he had made. Wheel of Fortune was one of them. The Game King, Pinball, Top Dollar. I think he also said like Stinkin' Rich, Cats, stuff like that. So if you want to hear the truth directly from the horse's mouth, then that's really your only go-to, that interview right there. And it was just so fantastic. So again, do check that out because it is incredible for those of you out there that have not seen it. And again, please do share it because everybody needs to see this interview. They really do, because it is very, very special. And we do have a $10 super sticker from Debbie. Debbie, thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. All right, Mark, I will hand it off back to you. Before I do, though, we do have several of you in here. This is a busy live stream. We just got started. Already have over 300 of you in here today. So please do hit that like button right now. If you're on your mobile app, you can just swipe out of the live chat, and you'll have the option to hit that thumbs up button. We would really appreciate it. And also, we've got several questions backed up already. We will get to your question, but stick around because it might be a little bit later in the show while we get through these. So, Mark, back to you.
All right, sounds good. And we got another one from Kevin Deal. Keep up the battle. Well done. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate your $10 super chat. Kevin's been with us for a very long time, so really appreciate it. All right, let's jump back into some questions here. Crimson says, I have an idea for a slot machine. How would I go about making a proof of concept and pitching it to a potential developer? That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that. I mean, it's something that we could probably help get pitched for you, or at least, drop a seed. But it's difficult. But if you do have an idea, like share it on the forum. Let people know what your idea is. I don't think anybody's going to steal it. I think it'd be something just to kind of get some feedback on, early feedback, and maybe we could put something together. You never know. But yeah, share on the forum. We'd love to see that. All right.
And also, IGT is on our forums as well. So
that's right. That's right. You might get their attention. You never know.
Yes.
All right. Max says, I won 2 jackpots this week thanks to following your great advice. You have made my casino going experience so much better. Thanks. Yeah. Guys, we love the feedback, of course. But I think the thing that's impacted us the most is, like, even during the seminar, so many people said that we have changed the way that they look at casinos. And that's what we've always wanted to hear. Yeah, sure. We want you to hit more hand pays. We want you to win more money. But just changing the way you look at a casino when you walk in is good enough for us, really. Because that means that you're listening and you're not paying attention to the things that are distractions, and you're focusing on what really matters. Again, we talk about budgeting and all those types of things, knowing when to quit, when to take a break, session control, all that kind of stuff. Most people, guys, do not do any of that. They just do not. They go in and they go nuts, and then they lose their butt within the first 2 hours, and then they think the casino screwed them, and that's further from the truth. You are the one that needs to get trained in that scenario. And the casino's not going to train you. It's up to you. It's up to you listening to us and get these ideas on how to handle yourself when you go into a casino. And you will do better in the long run. Not every session is going to be a winning one. We know that. We post losses too because we have losses. But if you stick to what we are teaching and you do all the things that we teach, we can assure you that your time will be better in a casino overall in the long run. And I think most of you will end up with a hand pay or at least a good win eventually if you stick to that. So thanks so much for the feedback. Let's keep it coming. All right. And Vero says, does increasing credits increase odds to win? Most likely not, but that's kind of a loaded question because you really have to, it depends on the machine, for example. Let's take an example of a machine that has 5 different bet levels from 100 credits up to 500 credits. It may be that if you don't bet 500 credits, you are missing out on the progressives or you are missing out on the free games or something like that. In that scenario, yes, betting higher increases your odds of winning because you are enabling more features of the machine. You get to play the full intent of the machine. But on others, it doesn't matter. For example, any of the Ainsworth, like Thunder Cash or Eagle Bucks or whatever, it doesn't matter if you bet more or less. Your odds of winning are the same. So it really depends on the game. But in general, you just got to look at the game rules and see if there is any benefit. And we've got a video coming up soon, guys, about all of this stuff, about when to bet max, how to figure out the bet panel and pay tables and all that to try to weed through some of those questions. Yeah, it really depends on the game. And I'll take one more, Brantley, and hand it on back to you. And Casey, why does it seem like sometimes nothing hits when you're betting higher than you lower it only to start hitting? Just chances, right? Yeah, just to follow up on what I just said. Yeah, it's just chances. A lot of people, again, look for patterns or reasoning as to why certain things are happening. It's our human nature to do that, right? But unfortunately, it just was a coincidence that seemed to happen. We've heard that exact statement, but flipped around, where as soon as I upped my bet, I started winning. What gives? It's just coincidence that happened. It's not because you changed your bet or, you just ended up changing your timing somehow and it made a difference. So, all right, back to you, Brantley.
All right. And we got 2 super chats to cover here. $5 from Alan. Alan, thank you. Really do appreciate that. During my slump in gambling, you encouraged me to focus on the long term. I did that, and I made money for the first time in 2023 yesterday. Well, congratulations, Alan. We love hearing that. Love hearing those success stories. And we also have $4.99 from CK. Thank you very much for that. I was wondering if the Top Dollar creator had anything interesting to say about the game voice on the Top Dollar machine. We did not ask about the game voice, but go watch the interview because there's a lot of interesting information in there. We did ask him. He actually covered, and this was actually something that that he went on to talk about that we didn't even. It wasn't even asked. Is he explained the entire mathematical breakdown and everything about how the advice that Top Dollar gives you, all about that. So go watch the interview because it's very, very interesting. All right, Vero.
And real quick, Brantley, I did remember asking him that. I think that's probably the first question I ever asked him back at G2E. I said, who was the voice of Top Dollar? I got to know because I just want to talk to the guy on the phone. And he wasn't sure if it was in-house talent or if they, voice acting kind of thing that they got. But he said he wasn't sure. It was a long time ago. But he thinks he knows the person that might have done it. So I might have to follow up with him and see if he can let us know who that is. But I asked him the same thing. It's funny that he brought that up. Back to you.
Maybe we can find him and do an interview with him next. You never know. Vera Veronica asks best slots to play to increase low bankroll, starting with $100. Very good question. Again, stick with those lower volatile games, the games that you have the best chance. Now, you can win or lose on any game. I mean, just because you play a low volatile game doesn't mean you're going to win. It just means that you're going to have a better steady chance of increasing that bankroll. So those would be like your basic games, like your double diamonds, your triple stars, stuff like that. And start low and just build your way up. But definitely want to start with those lower volatile games. And CK asks, is the average bonus frequency the same on the new pinball as it is on the old one? It is different. The bonus frequency is different on that. We don't have the exact number for that one, but it is different. We know the number for the traditional pinball, not the pinball gold, but we do not know the number for the new pinball double gold, unfortunately. All right. Bullet Bill says, is there a way to be able to have our home slot machine set up with more than 5-cent denom originally set by Slot Machines Unlimited? Yes, you can. You can change the denom on any slot machine. There's a lot of the best advice that I would give is to post your question in our forums. It's 100% free. You just go to ropethejackpot.com/chat, post your question in our tech forums, and there's a lot of people on there that can help you out, and it's all free resources. So you definitely can do that. All right. Teresa asks if RNG three reel machine, each reel has its RNG. How does the RNG work on hand video poker? So, video poker, Mark covered this in our top 50 slot myths video about kind of how this works. So, there's only one RNG in this scenario that we're talking about here. It is constantly shuffling the cards. It is shuffling a 52 deck of cards. There's not any more cards. There's not any less cards. The cards cannot be changed on that. It's shuffling a regular 52 deck of cards. It does the draw. It pulls your 5 cards up. You decide which ones you want to hold. Now, the whole time that you're deciding, it's still shuffling those cards. It's always shuffling those cards until you hit that draw button to draw the remaining cards, and then it will stop and pull a random card for that. So that's exactly how table games work. In that's the electronic table games and video poker. That's exactly how those work. And when the casino goes to change the odds, since they cannot alter the deck of cards or add more or less to it, they change what each hand pays. So video poker is one of the few games that you can actually have an advantage on if you know proper poker strategy and if you know exactly what to look for. So that's a big benefit to video poker. I'm going to take a couple more just because we do have a lot of questions backed up, guys. This is a very busy live stream today. Really, really exciting and fun. So thank you very much. Keep asking those questions. We're going to try to get through them as quick as we can, but keep in mind too, it might be a little later in the show that we get to your question and get it pulled. So just hang around for a little bit and wait and see. And T says, are the old-fashioned red, white, and blue 7 machines good to play? Yes, they are. The only thing that I would caution on a little bit on this is there are several variations, even in the older cabinet of this. There's like double red, white, and blue. There's a triple red, white, and blue. There's even some games where red, white, and blue is incorporated with other games. So like at the Shoshone Rose, there's a triple dollars with a red, white, and blue. So the only thing that I would caution on with that is yes, it is a good game to play, but it's kind of for a minute there, it's kind of like how Double Diamond is the base game for a lot of different games. You know, Pinball, Top Dollar, Wheel of Fortune, all of that. Red, white, and blue for a minute there was kind of going along the same lines with the Double Diamond, where it was a base game for a lot of other games. But if you're just talking about regular red, white, and blue, yes, it is a good game to play. All right, I will hand it off back to you, Mark, for a little bit. Start getting through some of these questions.
Sounds great. And we have a new member, Sticky Stickly. Thank you so much for joining the membership. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. YouTube member. All right. And Vero says, is it better to play $20 at a time or better to add a $100 bill to the machine? Does it matter? No, the machine does not care how much credits are in the machine, whether it's added by free play or added by bills or added by ticket. None of that matters when it comes to processing the spin that's about to occur. So we always feel that you shouldn't load up a machine with a lot of credits because I think it's too easy to spend it all, right? So I think in your instance, I would just add $20 at a time and play it through and see what happens. But don't add the full 100. It won't make any difference on the outcome of the spin. And Joseph said, my wife and I will be in Vegas in 3 weeks. In my research, we've decided to use taxi service rather than Uber from the airport to Planet Hollywood. Your thoughts? The taxi service to and from the airport is actually very cheap in Vegas. It's a flat rate to most hotels. Not sure about Planet Hollywood. I think it probably will be flat rate, and it's probably around $20 or $30 or less than that, including tip. So yeah, and it's very easy. The taxi stand is huge out there, and they have many taxis waiting. So you will not have a problem. I think if you want to get there as soon as possible, I would not mess with Uber whatsoever on taking it from the airport. And Greg says, I'm a new subscriber and really enjoy the content you're providing. Well, you're welcome. I'll be at Luxor in June and have a few $100s of free slot play. Do you recommend playing in the high limit room? If you want to, a few $100s isn't really enough to play most of the machines that are in the high limit room, though, in my opinion. But I will tell you, I think the best thing you can do at Luxor is outside of the high limit room, there are some old 5-line top dollars there that are in quarter, 50 cent, and dollar denomination. I would sit down and play those at dollar denomination, or maybe start with quarters and kind of work your way up. Hopefully they are still there. The last time I was there about a year or two ago, They were still there. They were looking pretty old, but I think they're still in there. I think Dave Gamble of Globe played them recently, so I would play those just outside of the high limit room if you only have a few $100 of free play. And Brantley, I'll just go ahead and turn it around back to you.
All right, sounds good. We do have another super chat coming in, $4.99 from Chlois. Thank you very much. Really do appreciate that, and thank you once again, guys, for all the super chats, super stickers. Really do appreciate it. And everybody out there, there's over 400 of you watching, so make sure to like this video. Everybody go like it at the same time. Let's see if we can't overwhelm the like system there. $4.99 from Chlois. Hey, Cowboy, what do you think of Double Up Mike Cash? Grand is 155K, making this 360K jackpot. What are your thoughts on $1 Million Dragon Link? Thank you. Well, thank you for your super chat. Dragon Link is not a game that we recommend. So anytime that you start getting into those really, really big progressives, you're looking at a higher volatile game. It's one of those where play it for the entertainment, but at least know what you're getting into. And that's kind of, we always have a saying here, don't feed the dragons. But at the end of the day, if you want to feed the dragons, just know what you're getting into, and know what your chances are. You start getting into really big jackpots like that, your chances are pretty slim of actually walking away with that. So focus on the base game and the enjoyability of the game as opposed to trying to hit the jackpot. So thank you very much for that. We really do appreciate it very much so. All right. MJ has a question. How can manufacturers build a machine that will tilt if we have the annoying button slappers? That's a good idea. We should pitch that. So
I love it.
Build a machine that will purposely tilt if you button slap. That's a clever idea. I don't think they'll go for that, but that's a clever idea. Very good. And Blarney Hour. Hey, Cowboys, on a multi-denom, I've heard that the payout percentage is on the lowest denom. Is that true? So with that, on multi-denomination machines, every denomination is programmed differently, not the bet amounts. A lot of people get confused about that. They'll sit down at a 1 cent machine and it has like a max bet of $10 and they think, oh, well, if I bet $10, then I'm playing a $10 machine. No, you're still only getting the odds for the denomination of the machine. Now, each of those denominations are programmed separately. So typically speaking, and this is just an industry standard thing, the higher the denomination, the higher the payout percentage is going to go. Now, when you're looking at certain machines like 1 cent, 2 cent, 5 cent, 10 cent, they're all relatively low. So it might be either the same payback percentage for all of them, or it could just be like a slight percentage, a fraction of a percent better. But typically in those lower denominations, you don't start seeing the big increases in actual payback percentage on a programming level until you start getting into like going from like a 1 cent machine to like a $5 machine, and then from $5 to like a $25 machine. So I hope that helps to make sense, but each denomination is going to be programmed separately. All right. Mary Ellen says, I emailed the slot manager at Twin River, Rhode Island, and sent him the link to the IGT interview. I asked him for more old school machines and also asked him to contact you guys via to do a seminar. Well, thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. Like Mark said in the intro, we would love to come out to these casinos and visit with you guys. But we do need, there's a lot of back end stuff that has to take place. So even for us to do the seminar that we did, we have to have an event insurance policy. So there's a lot of back end stuff that we have to set up. So it's not one of those things of we can just come out to a casino. We need to be able to work with that casino. So you did the right thing, Mary. Thank you very much for that. And hopefully we will hear from him. And let's see. I often play an app version of slots to get familiar with them. Is this the best method to get a feel of the game and how I can tell? And how can I tell if it's similar to the real thing volatility wise? So when you're playing a game on your phone or an app, you're not going to see any kind of volatility or anything like that. But you are going to get a feel for how the game plays and learn a little bit about it. Like, what does the bonus do? What does the bonus, how is the bonus play out? What do you have to do? Stuff like that. So I would not base volatility on an app or a game whatsoever. because again, those are not slot machines. They're just games that replicate and look like slot machines. They don't work in the same manner. But you can play them to kind of get a feel for the bonus and how the game is, and so on and so forth. So very good question. All right, back to you, Mark.
Sounds good. All right, and Cheap Slot says, as of my trip in December, the top dollars was still outside the high limit room at Luxor. So there you go. That's what I would recommend doing. So go hit those up. And good luck. All right, and Natasha says, hi guys, appreciate the info. Has paid off greatly. Have you guys played the Sizzling Wild game? Yeah, we actually have a video of it from Seven Feathers that we'll probably be posting. So stay tuned for that. You'll get to see a little play that we did on that one. I thought it was okay. We were really nervous playing it, I'll say that. All right, let's see. And Karen says, will you be doing more interviews like with IGT? It was fantastic. We'll see. We certainly hope so. We certainly hope so. We loved how that came out, and so were they. So we'll see what happens. And Bayou Slot says, my buildup is now $1,000 and want to advance. I usually stop at $10 machines, 2 credits. Next step, $25 single, 2 credits, or $100 single credit machine. If you're up to $1,000, I would not jump to a $100 machine. I think 25 at 2, it's $50 a spin. I still think that's pushing it a little bit. Maybe look for a $20 or $30, maybe a $10 pinball that is $20 or $30 a bet. I think I would stay in that range. I think only $1,000 at $50 a spin, that's going to go really fast. And $100 a spin is going to go insanely fast. So I think you're a little bit too early on jumping to 25 and 100 on that one. And Yoli says, everyone sometimes says during the day is the best time to hit a jackpot. What are your thoughts? It does not matter time of day, period. This has been debunked over and over and over again. The guy that creates the damn machine says that it is false. Machines cannot be scheduled to pay at certain times of the day. It just cannot happen. So try to push that myth out of your mind. It's something that people are still pushing out there, and it's completely false. You're focusing on the wrong thing. So don't play when you feel like you want to play and when the machine is open. That's it. It also doesn't matter if there's a lot of people there and a lot of people are winning or a lot of people are losing. None of that stuff matters. Slot machines don't have a brain inside of them that thinks that way. Humans do, but that's not how slot machines think. So just try to keep that separated there. All right, and let me see. And Chris says, I have to say you two are the most respectable slot influencers on YouTube. Thanks for your guidance. Well, thank you, Chris. Very nice comment there. Really
Thank you
appreciate
very much.
it.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll take one more here, Brantley. Okay, and Bonnie says deluxe or double diamond deluxe. Is it the same volatility as regular double diamond? It's insanely close, if not the same. I mean, it's just the pay tables are exactly the same. The nudging feature, I don't know if it really makes a big difference on the outcome. We'd have to look at the par sheets to know definitively, but they're so close that it's not going to matter. Like if you only have double diamond deluxe to choose from, you'll be fine. You'll be fine playing that one. They're pretty much the same. And Brantley, I will turn it on back to you.
All right. A lot of good questions in here, guys, and there's a lot, 410 of you in here watching right now. So this is a fantastic Sunday show. We are so happy that all of you could make it in. And again, just a reminder to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help us out, and it's 100% free. If you're on your mobile app, all you have to do is swipe out of the live chat, and you'll get that option to hit that thumbs up. All right. Another question about the nudging feature here from Logical Misery. Are nudging features like Double Diamond Deluxe just a gimmick in how a winning combo is displayed, or are there actually more winning combos behind the scene? So the machine already knows the stopping point of the reels, what the final position is going to be whenever the outcome is determined once you hit that spin button. So the nudging of the reels is just kind of a little extra song and dance after the fact, but the machine already knows that, like, if you're going to get 3 single bars, for example, and they land off the line and then they all move to the line, the machine already knew ahead of time that it was going to give you those 3 single bars as soon as you hit that spin button. So I wouldn't really call it a gimmick, but more of just a visual entertainment factor for that type of game. And a lot of people love it. I actually have one right behind me, the Triple Diamond Deluxe. That one is a deluxe version, and it has the little glittery reels and moving features. So really, really cool. All right. Erica asks, prior to starting your channel, how often did you visit the casino? This is a good question. So, for me, when I worked in the casino industry, I pretty much didn't play very much. A lot of it was because I couldn't play at the locations that I worked at. But before and after, I would definitely go to the casino. I used to go to the casino frequently. But I'm living where I live now. It is pretty difficult to go to the casino because we don't have one nearby. But prior to starting the channel, yes, we did. I still visited the casino, and I'm sure Mark did as well. All right. And Peter says, knowing when to quit is my problem. That's, the thing is, that's a big topic. It is a big topic. And that's one that we really stress a lot here on this channel. Walking away with your winnings. Some people, it's kind of like a blessing and a curse if you like just walk into the casino and like you hit a jackpot first thing when you walk in, because you're like, man, I just drove all this way, or I just traveled all this way, and now I'm stuck here. I might as well make it worth the trip. If that ever happens to you, just walk out of the casino. That's the best thing you can do. But no, there's a lot of steps that you can take to help walk out of the casino with money. We have it broken down in several different videos, which actually there is a money management section on our website. If you go to ropethejackpot.com/start and scroll down to budgeting, there's a lot of those videos in there. And on this page as well, we have several of our videos broken down into category, because I know it can be difficult sometimes to find exactly what video you're looking for. So that's why this website exists, is to help you guys navigate that and find it easier. So check that out, ropethejackpot.com/start on that one. All right, I'll take a couple more here, and then I'll hand it on back to Mark. James D, would you ask for comps from the casino when you hit a large jackpot? You could. I mean, never hurts to ask. You can always ask. If you have a host, it's a lot easier. And I'm sure that they would do something for you, especially like if you needed a room or something like that. Something little that's usually fairly simple for them to do. So yeah, you can always ask. They might not give it to you. It really depends on the casino, but you can always ask. Never hurts. All right. Hugh Montgomery asks, is Pinball Gold the not recommended version? Have those here and was not impressed. So keep in mind, there's Pinball Gold, which looks just like this cabinet right here. It looks exactly the same. It's just Pinball Gold. And then there's Pinball Double Gold, which Pinball Double Gold is the new one, the Diamond RS cabinet, really big, and has the two progressives on it. The Pinball Gold version, it's a 3-line version, 10 credits to play. Definitely not recommended. Not recommended to play that one. It was not very popular. It's not in a lot of casinos, but if just Pinball Gold, not Pinball Double Gold, but just Pinball Gold, really not a recommended version on that. And I'm sure Mark could tell you a lot more about it. And in fact, I'm going to hand it off back to Mark to take some more questions.
Yeah, don't play it. Just make it that simple. I will say on the new Pinball Double Gold, though, we've backtracked a little bit. I think it's still okay to play, but our recommendation still remains the same, and that is to go down a denomination that you're usually used to playing pinball at. So if you usually play pinball at $5, play the dollar version of the Pinball Double Gold. If you play dollars on normal pinball, go down to 25 cents. Because you really need to wager the full 10 credits to get the most out of that game and to lower the volatility. So make sure that you are betting the 10 credits, but don't play the denomination that you normally play, because it does take 10 credits, and that can make it feel a little bit more difficult. So, all right, let's jump back in here, and I saw some super chats come in, so let's just take care of those real quick. And Teresa M, $4.99 super chat, hit a nice $720 line hit on Triple Double Stars today. Well, congratulations, that's awesome. I hope you walked out with it.
Very
my
nice.
favorite part about low volatility slots is the amount of tier credits you get. And I saw another question come in talking about this too. I think someone said that they like playing the higher denomination games because they earn more credits and comps. Listen, guys, you do not have to play in the high limit room or high denominations to earn good comps. You just don't need to do that. It's all about the longevity of your play, how much coin in that you put through the machine. And if you play those low volatility games like Teresa did, you're going to find that you will earn way more coin in doing that than if you went into the high limit room and only spun a machine 5 times, for example. So stick with those lower, even if it seems boring sometimes where you're just sitting at a machine for hours, you're earning a lot of tier credits, and those in turn translate to comps. So we talk a lot about that on this channel, about sticking to those low volatility games to maximize the coin in that you get. All things considered, if you really, really want to maximize your comps, stay out of the high limit room. At least if you can't, if that's not your budget, don't go in there thinking you're going to get noticed by a host by walking in and playing a few spins on a $100 machine. If you just go in there and you do that and then leave, you're not going to get noticed at all. And the amount of tier credits that you've earned is very minimal. But if you stick at a $1 machine and you stay there for 2 hours and you cash out the same that you started with, you put a lot of coin into that machine, a lot more than you did on spinning the $100 machine 4 times, for example. So just try to keep that in mind. And let's see, another super chat from Melinda. Are 5 spins on a high volatility machine a good practice if you don't want to drop a lot of money? I hit a jackpot on Willie Nelson, seems like timing. There is no such thing as machines paying out in a certain number of spins or anything like that. That's a myth and a rumor that's been spread. Machines cannot be programmed to give anything within a certain number of spins. It's all random, guys, of when it happens. So if you want to spin a machine 5 times, do it because that's what your budgeting and your session management is. If that's what you told yourself you're going to do, you're going to sit down on the machine and play 5 spins. And if you don't get anything, you're going to get up and take a break or maybe go to another machine. But it's very important that you understand that machines are not programmed to give you anything within 5 spins. That is completely false. We asked that in the IGT interview. He clearly said that cannot happen. So just try to keep that in mind, that if you need to do that, do it for budgeting reasons and not because the machine is programmed to do that. All right, and let's jump into some more questions here. And we'll do some rapid fire here. Mark says, is MGM Grand the only casino that has Cherry's Jubilee machines? Yes, they are the only ones that have them. All right. And Matt says, what do you mean that the vendor contributed with the participation machines? I've always understood participation to be 80-20 with a cap of 20% the vendor gets. We don't know the contracts. We haven't seen them. But that basically what you're describing is true. It's essentially in exchange for the casino not having to buy the entire cabinet outright. They basically lease the machine, and they don't have to pay anything for it to be on the casino floor. There may be some stipulations in there of location the machine needs to be. All of that is part of a contract, and they decide that well in advance of the machine getting there. A lot of casinos are taking advantage of this because it's an easy way for them to test machines to see if they are going to be popular or not. If they don't have to pay for the machine outright, if it's not performing well, meaning people are not playing them, they can call up the vendor and say, come get this one, give me another one. And they don't have to pay anything for that because it's just participation. They're getting a cut of whatever the coin in is on that machine. So it's one of those things that a lot of, especially the smaller casinos, take part in because they don't have a lot of money to buy all these new expensive machines. Some of these are pushing 50 or 60 grand, guys. They're very expensive machines, and it may not be something they want to take a risk on if nobody's going to play it, right? So that's what's going on there. All right, Brantley, we'll turn it on back to you.
All right. And again, guys, if you're just now joining us, very busy live stream, 470 of you in here right now. We do have several comments and questions that are backed up in our queue. We will get to those. So we do see you all there. Just stick around and bear with us for a minute. Try to avoid asking, repeating the question over and over and over again, just because it does back up our queue. We set those questions aside when we pull them. So just kind of stick around a little bit and see if we pull the question, and we will get that pulled up there. All right. Stacy says, that guy in the interview was really chill and down to earth. Nice to see people not letting success go to their heads. Yes, Anthony is a very, very cool person. He is very, very cool, and we were so happy to get a chance to interview him. All right. And Greg asks, hey, guys, pay table changes with denomination change. What about line changing? Seems like when you play 9 lines, tough to get hits, and when you play 3, it seems like payouts line up on the 9th line. So this one really depends on the type of game. There are some games out there that the lines and the way that it hits will change. It's very few games are like that, and the difference is normally very small and slight. And again, that's something that would be in the game rules, so it's something that you would have to look at each individual game to really tell. Derek says, "Is a 5 reel slots more volatile than a traditional 3 reel?" Because when I want to kill time, I like to play the old school 9 quick hits. So when you start going over 3 reels, especially on the old school slots, it does become a lot more volatile. It increases the volatility by quite a lot. You've got the 4 reels, the 5 reels. Especially on older games, it really does increase the volatility of those. So just be cautious of some of those. Even on some of the good ones, like the 5 reel double diamonds and stuff like that, it is, again, it's a lot more volatile. All right. Stacy asks, is there any significance to a machine giving an odd win amount? Like if you're betting 75 cents and it gives you 43 or something weird. So this one, again, this is typically found more in those higher volatile games, where it just gives you like pennies back. That's one of the main reasons why we recommend sticking away from certain games, especially the higher volatile games, especially if you're trying to build your bankroll and get started, because it's not giving you at least your bet back. Try to stick with a machine that gives you at least your bet back. So in this case, if you were betting 75 cents, you want to try to get back at least 75 cents. In that case, but there's really nothing to it. It's just how the game plays, and how that particular game was designed. But that would be a game that we would stick away from. And Rustar, what does the light on the top of the machine mean? Good question. This is kind of a history question. So it's called the candle. The candle's on the top of the machine. It will flash for different reasons. If it's a jackpot, both of the lights will flash at the same time in sync. If the belly door has been opened recently, usually the bottom light will flash. It'll normally do like a rapid flash. Sometimes if you come into the casino really early hours of the morning and the drop team just came through and emptied all the cash out of the machines, you'll just see all the little lights flickering. It just means that the door was open recently. If the top light flashes really slow, it means there's typically some kind of an error with the game, or like papers running out, something like that. Back in the day, it used to be, so the attendants and the casino could see where the jackpots were going off. A lot of new machines today, they still have the candle, but it's more for like a kind of like a historic novelty almost, because everything is sent electronically. So when you hit a jackpot, they're notified that you've hit a jackpot. But that's what the candle is on the machine. So a little interesting tidbit there. And Jay Boris asks, do you know if there are any low volatile Dragon Link games? So this is a good question. All of the Dragon Link games are going to be in the higher volatile category. However, their volatility is different between each game title. Each game title does have different features. It acts differently. I believe the last time that I checked, of all the Dragon Links, I think that the game Genghis Khan was on the lower side. Does not mean it is low volatile by any means. They are all going to be in that high volatile category. But within that high volatile category, when they're benchmarked against each other, there are some games that are better. And I want to say, like, within that series, like if we look at, like, I think Autumn Moon ranks really well, and then also Genghis Khan ranks very well. So when we're talking about volatility, obviously we're talking about the game title, the actual game itself. So, even though they're all Dragon Link, Genghis Khan is different from Autumn Moon, and they're going to have different volatility. Very good question. Very good. And we do have a $200 super chat from Crimson. Thank you so much for that. We really do appreciate it. You guys are really rocking it with these super chats.
I think that's
today.
A record for the channel. So thank you so much.
Crimson
that's
says, here's a couple Benjis. I'd like to request a Slot Tech review of my personal favorite game, Hexbreaker 3, a persistent state game with expanding reels and multi-way line hits. It's very chill, not too flashy. What I play when I want to relax for a bit. Hexbreaker is actually a pretty old game, and it's been coming back. It's really kind of cool to see. We like seeing those older style games actually coming back. So Hexbreaker is something we can definitely look into. And there was another comment in here. Somebody was asking if we could also review another game as well. There are so many slot machines out there, guys. Send us your review ideas, or better yet, the best thing that you can possibly do so that we can actually keep track and remember these is to utilize our forums on our website. Start a forum for it, for game reviews. Just start a game reviews thread and say, hey, what games would you like us to review? And next time we're out at the casino, all we have to do is look into the forums and see what the most popular game is. And you guys can even create your own polls on those forums. So there's a lot that you can do. Tammy just dropped the link. Thank you again for that. And Crimson, I think you are on the forums already. And thank you very much for that super chat. We really do appreciate it. And we appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much. All right, Mark, I'm going to hand it off back to you.
All right, sounds good, and thank you, Crimson. Really appreciate it. And Stickly gave a $10 super chat. I was at a new casino in California. I won on Top Dollar Pinball and all things Buffalo. The couple next to me had a Cowboy Slots chip and were into your advice. Great show, guys. That's awesome.
Love
good to hear
hearing
that. Yeah, that's cool, guys. Thank you so much. All right, let's get back to some more questions here. And Eric, you're new to the live stream, so welcome. My question is, are there any penny slots like Red Hot Tamales that are low in volatility? That is a pretty good game. That is one that I think, Brantley, you did a review on it from the IGT showroom.
Yeah, they have a new version coming out. But yeah, there are, there are a lot of there are more low volatile penny games than people think there are. There are some out there that are low in volatility. Like I mentioned, I know a lot of you saw that video where we did the free play conversion on that Triple Diamond free games video. That was pretty recent. We did that at the Seven Feathers Casino, and I mentioned in that video that particular game, typically speaking, is almost always in penny denom or lower denom. This was actually one of the first times that I saw it in dollar denom. That is a very good game to play. So there are some penny games out there that are good, and Red Hot Tamales is definitely one of them.
All right, and Blake says my wife hit a jackpot on step 1 this weekend, $12.50 on a 5-line double diamond, 25 cents. Guys, this is one of our favorite machines. 5-line double diamond or 5-line triple diamond. Those are both really good games to find. So congratulations to your wife. That is awesome. Hitting in on step 1 and having to skip all the rest of the steps.
Success in here. Lots of success in here.
You guys are doing great.
This is what we love to hear.
Yep. All right, Stephanie says, hey guys, 10 times pay girl here. I took your advice and played a double triple diamond $3 max. After about 6 spins, I hit double triple red 7, a $2,700 hand pay. My problem is walking away, played it back. Yeah, that happens to most of us here. And guys, the funniest thing to me is that I think a lot of you people, and us included, we actually win a lot more in a casino than we remember. Because all we remember is what we were left with when we walked out, right? And so I think we actually, most of us are winners in a casino. It's just we have the problem of stopping and leaving or just taking a break or whatever the case is. And so, it's just something that you have to really train yourself. Use our budgeting techniques where you're stashing your cash away, hide it in a safe, give it to a friend, do something like that. One of those cash wallets, for example. Resist the urge to just keep playing it, especially if you just got a big hit. We think it's super important to get up and walk away after you get the hand pay or after you get a big hit, cash out, and go do something else for a while. Reset your brain, because your brain is telling you to keep playing, keep playing, keep playing. And before you know it, it could be all gone. And then you start remembering, oh, I had all this money. What happened? It's like, well, you broke the cardinal rule of not stopping when you needed to stop. But taking a break will reset yourself. Go put some of that money away in the safe, like I said, and then come back down later. Wait 30 minutes, wait an hour, wait 2 hours, and then come back. And you'll be more likely to not put it all back in. But congratulations on the win. That's really awesome. All right. And Vicky says, hint with help with spending. If the machine allows, switch the credit display to dollars. It's easier to keep up with what you're actually spending. This is a good tip. This is something both Brantley and I do. In fact, a lot of us players do this, where if it shows the credit amount, we will touch it to switch it over to the dollar amount. That does help you a lot. It's a lot easier to see where your stop points are. Like we are doing more and more videos talking and saying that, like, that's important to us to say we're starting at 800, we're going to play it down to 500. It's a lot easier to see when you're at that, when you're not having to do conversion in your head from credits to dollars, for example. So good tip, Vicky. I really appreciate you pointing that out here. And I will pull one more here. And Jesus S says, thanks guys for the channel. My casino visits have been more enjoyable. Understanding the game rules makes a world of difference. It really does. It really does. You should always know what you're playing. Guys, you are gambling your own money. Why would you not want to be fully educated? It just baffles me. It hurts to see people walk into a casino blind. And a lot of people do. And that's why this channel exists. That's why you guys are watching us. That's why you're sharing the videos, is because we honestly feel that the more educated you are about how all of this stuff works, the better off you're going to be in the end. And you're going to have a whole lot more fun because you are confident. You know exactly how these things work. You're not falling into the trap of a lot of myths and rumors out there. You're sticking with your budgets. And you're just going to have a better time. I promise you. I mean, look at all the feedback we've gotten today. This is a perfect example of what we are saying is making a difference to people. And so it's really important that you guys just stick with that and educate yourself as much as possible so that you can go in with a clean head and know exactly what's going on and feel like you're just going to, you know, you're going to beat this thing. You're going to go into the casino. You're going to know exactly what to do. And you'll be better off. I promise you. I promise you. All right, back to you, Brantley.
All right. And we still do have a lot of those questions backed up, guys. So so hang tight with us. This has been a very, very busy live stream. 511 of you now in here. So again, hit that like button for us. And we're trying our best to get through all of these questions. So thank you so much for everybody for being here. All right, Wheelie 55, is there a different strategy for HHR machines versus regular casino slots? We have both an HHR place and a new casino in our area. So for HHR, the best, we did a video on HHR on our website. You can actually, if you go to our website, you can see the link for it on there under videos. My best advice for HHR, because remember, these are not slot machines, so you don't want to treat them like slot machines. It's purely going to be budgeting and purely just going to be to use it for entertainment. But also keep in mind that with HHR, it doesn't take a lot of money to win something good. You can still win a lot of big hits on HHR for a lower limit. So I would recommend, if you have both in your area, go to the HHR facility if you're either looking to, you know, just relax, have fun, do a quick little getaway, and then low roll for a bit. But do not invest a whole lot of money into like high limit play or, you know, going crazy, you know, playing those HHR machines a lot. Save your big bucks and your actual big long visits for the real casino, and just use a lot of budgeting is really what it's going to be when it comes down to HHR. All right. And Eric says, anyone played in Deadwood? We have not. A lot of people have played in Deadwood. We have not, and it's actually on our list. We have sent out some materials to some casinos in Deadwood to try to get something arranged. So Deadwood is probably going to be they're on the top of our list for places to go for next events and so on and so forth. So be watching our events page. We do have an events page on our website, ropethejackpot.com/events. So always keep an eye out there, because anytime we do go up there, we will let you guys know. All right. And KF, is there a separate RNG for each denom on multi-denom games? No, there is not a separate RNG. There is a separate pay table, but not a separate RNG. Remember, the RNG is just the picking mechanism that picks from the pay table. The pay table is what changes. The RNG does not change whatsoever. And Andrew says, I've taken your advice and have had better results at the casino. Playing the higher denoms has also gotten me better comps. Thank you. You're very welcome. We love to hear that. Absolutely love to hear that from you guys. And CK asks, have you guys seen triple stars or double diamond in the new Diamond RS cabinet? We have, but I've only seen them at G2E. I have not yet seen them on a live casino floor yet. I've only seen them at the G2E conference. I haven't yet seen them out in the wild, but I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that they will come. And Depot, hey guys, love your video with IGT. What is the definition of over the machine's lifetime with regards to RTP, payback percentages, 10 years, 100 years, etc.? So we get this question. We get this question a lot, and it's really good. It's a good question. The machine's lifetime is not determined, so it's not, a machine does not have an expiration date. The technical term of a lifetime of a machine would be from the time the machine is set up to the time the machine has to be fully RAM cleared. Now, when we say RAM cleared, and I'm not using the word reset for a reason, because it's really not it is a RAM clear. So like this machine, I'll just use my pinball machine here as an example. So right now, obviously, it's running, it's up. If I were to pull everything off of it and do completely wipe the hard drive, completely, where everything is gone, the accounting record is gone, and just completely wipe it and reinstall, then that would restart the quote unquote lifetime of the machine. So there is no expiration date. And no, this is not something that the casinos do. It is a very, very big, long process for the casinos to do. And it usually has to have an actual mechanical reasoning behind it needing to be done, such as a part needing to be replaced, or so on and so forth. But that is what the technical definition of a lifetime of the machine is. All right, back to you, Mark.
All right, and we have some super chats that came in here, so let's take those. Scroll back up here. Ryan, good to see you again. I've watched y'all and I've learned so much about slots that all my buddies ask me which machine to play or not. Awesome. It's good to be the go-to person for that, right? Thanks for spreading the word. Really appreciate it. And Lou says some casinos are replacing their progressive video machines, poker machines, with very video poker machines that have much lower progressives. Can casinos adjust how much a progressive rises per day so it goes up slower? So on some games, it is possible to, it's called the contribution rate. So on some games, you can actually set what the contribution rate means. That means for every credit that is wagered, go up by this percentage. Casinos can set this, but they cannot do it if there is an active progressive in play. Okay? So if it currently is in play, meaning it hasn't been reset, then it's impossible for them to make that change. It has to pay out first, if that makes sense. So they could have removed those old machines and brought new ones in and set the contribution rates lower. Yes, they could have done that. But again, one thing that we always try to clear up with progressives is just because they remove a game that had a progressive that didn't get hit doesn't mean they get to keep that money, because progressives are actually due back to the player in some fashion. Sometimes they add it to other machines, so they will combine the progressives into a machine, or they will give it away for like giveaways, like if they're giving away a car or free play or something, but it has to go back to the player. They can't just wait for a progressive to get really high and say, we don't want to pay that, so let's take it out of service. They can take it out of service, but that progressive has to go somewhere because it is due back to the players, because the players are the one that are feeding into the progressive. So there's very strict rules about that. But that could have happened, what you described there. All right, and I saw a couple of these come in. And Rocky Mountain High Limit Slots. And make sure you guys check out his channel. He's relatively new, but he plays a lot of top dollar and pinball. So I've been watching every single one of his videos so far. And he does a lot of like 100 spin tests just to see what it looks like to do 100 spins. It's really cool. But anyway, hey, Mark, I would love to purchase a new 9-line double top dollar machine if you run across one. I would love to buy that one too, but unfortunately, the new Diamond RS cabinet, casinos cannot even get them fast enough. So that means that it's not available on the public market. And honestly, it's probably not going to be for 5 or 6 years. It usually takes about that long before machines start to creep out. But even then, they're going to be extraordinarily expensive when they first come out to the public market. So S3000s are just now starting to come out, and they're very expensive. So we're going to have to wait, buddy. I'm sorry. And one thing he says is it's hard to stop when that top dollar symbol is so mesmerizing. It really is, especially when it's just one off. You want to just keep playing. Totally understand that. All right. And I saw this one coming in. Ashley's trying to put the screws to us here. So which game would you select to play? A Dragon Link with a payback of 95% or a Double Diamond at 83% payback? Boy,
Double Diamond.
You really formulated this question well. I'm going to go with Double Diamond also for a couple of reasons. Now I'm going to explain myself. Number one, I don't play Dragon games. That's easy. But the second part is that again, you have to keep in mind that payback percentages take a very long time to finally work themselves out. And just because a Dragon Link is at 95% does not mean that it's going to pay better in the short term than a double diamond. In fact, I would almost put money on it, no pun intended. I would put a bet to say that double diamond in the short term would play better than the Dragon Link, because the Dragon Link has a bunch of progressives built into it. Those are what cause those big swings. That's what adds to the volatility. I would much rather play a low volatility game that was set much lower, because I think the return that I get in my short term, my short session, is going to be better. But that's still a very interesting question, and I'm glad you asked that, Ashley, because it is important to understand the differences there of what's going on. And I'll turn it on back to you, Brantley.
All right, kind of going off what Ashley also said, and Mark, what you said. We did a video experiment doing this exact same thing. And Mark, if you would put that link up on the screen. But no, double diamond hands down all day long, because remember that payback percentage is over the very, very, very long term. So if I walk into the casino and I have a Dragon Link at 95% and a double diamond at 83%, my chances of hitting something are going to be still a lot better on that double diamond, because again, that payback percentage, and this is why we tell people don't focus so much on the payback percentage, because it is over the very, very long term. We're talking years, guys, years, millions of spins. Does nothing for you in that short term visit. So watch this video, watch that video that's up on the screen, ropethejackpot.com/slot payback. We did a very, very interesting video on that very subject. All right. We do still have quite a few questions backed up. It's a very, very busy stream. We are going to go for about 25 more minutes until the end of the show. So we are going to try to get through these questions here. So we do apologize. It's taking us a little bit, guys. We appreciate your patience, though. Michael asks, please tell me there are any stress balls left. I have a few friends that want them. Yes, we do still have stress balls. We do still have poker chips. I will say our green and our lavender poker chips, they sold out very, very fast. We're still waiting on another order of them. Typically, our swag does sell out very, very quickly. And we have some new swag that's getting ready to come into the store. So be watching for that, because it's really, really cool. We should be able to start showing it off next week. But yes, the Stretch hats are still available in the shop. Thank you very much for that. And it's ropethejackpot.com/shop. There's a link also in the chat window as well. Joe J, what Buffalo version would you recommend if you had to play one? So there are so many different versions of Buffalo. Buffalo has been really, really overdone. It comes in a wide variety, but I would stick with the original Buffalo. The original Buffalo actually was not that high in volatility. It was pretty even keel, middle of the road in terms of volatility. So I would stick with just the original Buffalo on that. And we do have a $10 super chat from Eric. Eric, thank you very much for that. You guys are killing it with the super chats today. You really are. What are your thoughts on the old school video slots like Catch a Wave and Texas T? Personally, for me, I was never a fan of them. A lot of people were. They are good games. I will say that. Like Texas T is a really good game. Catch a Wave I never played, but Texas T is a really good game. I just personally, I'm speaking personal here, not from tech standpoint. Personally, I didn't play it. I always liked just the actual reels. But they are some good games to play. Mark, do you have any thoughts about those?
I'm not a fan of either one of those either. I've played Texas T. The bonus just isn't my thing. It doesn't seem to pay that well, but that's just personal preference. They're still good games. They're older video style games, but just not my cup of tea.
Right, there you go.
Like
Zing. Did you guys catch that? We're dad.
I won't quit my day job. Don't worry.
On the channel now. All right. Gonna go back to some of these questions here real quick. I'll take one more and then I'll hand it off to Mark to grab some. Are the 6 bonus spins or total win on Dragon Cash predetermined? I ask because after each bonus win, it automatically spins the next spin without me having to hit the button. No, the free spins are not predetermined on Dragon Cash, nor are the actual how many orbs you collect or anything like that. That is not predetermined. Now, as Mark has explained in previous videos and live streams as well, the more orbs you collect, the harder it gets to get the remaining ones. So like if you collect 14 out of the 15, it's going to be really, really hard to get that 15th orb. But as for predetermined, no, they're not predetermined on that. All right, back to you, Mark.
Alrighty, sounds good. And yeah, shout out to Tammy and Susan. You guys are being a tremendous help. Thank you so much. They are always here helping us out, making the stream just go a little bit easier on us and keeping the flow going. So thank you so much, guys, as always. Really appreciate you being here. All right. And Finding All Runs says, hello, Cowboy Slots. On Huff and Puff, does the number of hats available go down after landing them during the bonus? No, I don't think so, but I do not know for sure. I think each spin is completely random again on that one. But it could be picking from different symbols. So a lot of times when you're in a bonus round, guys, the actual virtual tables change. And what I mean by that is that the symbols that the random number gets to pick from is different. So there could be less hats to pick from, etc. But we'd really have to look at the par sheet and have a good understanding of how that game was built to understand that, to tell you for sure which way that is. I can only guess. All right. And Fast Pace says, going to Vegas May 11th. I see you're always at Aria. Where else should I try? Or which casinos do you prefer? Well, we do prefer Aria. We like it for a lot of reasons. The rooms are nice. They have a great selection of games. Lots of top dollars in there. Lots of pinballs. A lot of the classics are in there too. In all denominations. And plus, it's centrally located, so it's really easy to go casino hopping because it's right there in the middle of all the MGM properties. So that's always our kind of preference, but we've stayed everywhere. I've stayed at New York, New York. They used to be my favorite. MGM Grand we've stayed at. I've stayed at Mandalay Bay once. I've stayed at Luxor. Those are the ones that I would prefer staying at, any of those. But good luck out there. Hope you have a good one. Have a big hit for us. All right. And let's see. Joe924 says, when people say X casino has looser slots than Y casino, is that true? Can casinos set the return to player percentage of their machines? Yes, they can. And what people are saying when it comes to that information is they are looking at the returns. And if you go to, let's say, Las Vegas, and you go to the State of Nevada Gaming Commission, you can look up what happened during a certain time frame on properties on the Strip, on properties downtown, properties in Henderson, etc. You can look to see what the payback return to the player was for each denomination during a certain time frame. And in general, you may notice some areas are higher than others, but we have to give you a big warning. There's a big flag here. This is a marketing tactic, okay? Just because a downtown property has a higher payback percentage return than the Strip on average, you've got to understand that this is over hundreds of millions of pools with many machines. And because of that, you don't really know what the payback percentage is set on any of the machines that are part of that group. So here's the warning. Just because the downtown has higher payback percentage, and that is a true fact, if you look at those returns, it may be 1% or 2% higher than the Las Vegas Strip, does not mean you can go downtown and you're guaranteed to win, and then you go to a Strip casino and you're guaranteed to lose. You can have huge success at a casino on the Strip and get your butt handed to you downtown, because that's just how slot machines work. Now, if you're talking about the long term, let's say you live in Las Vegas and you want to go to the casino every 3 days, then I would advise going to the one that's a higher payback percentage, because over the long term, years and years and years, you should see a difference. But in any individual session, let's say you're just going to Las Vegas for the first time, or you're just going there for the month and you're going to be there a couple of days, it is not going to make any difference in the short term, not something that you'd ever be able to detect between those two. So we try to say, don't worry so much about that. Focus more on your budget and playing the right games, and not get too drawn up in the return to player statistics and all that, because in the short term, you're not going to be able to notice the difference. And I got to plug that video one more time. If you want to see a perfect example, we did an example on a pinball machine here in the home casino, where we set a machine at the lowest payback percentage possible, 85%. And we did 200 spins, and then we set it at the highest possible, which was around 98%, and did 200 spins. And the results may really surprise you. So I encourage you to go look at it so you can see what would happen in a 200 spin cycle, right? So anyway, I'm sorry that took a long time there, but I think it was a really good question, and it's something that we really want to get you guys thinking about whenever you're going and looking at those stats, or somebody tells you that this is a loose casino and this is a tight casino. There's a lot to that. All right, back to you, Brantley.
All right. Very well said, Mark. And we do have about 15 minutes remaining in the show. We are going to start wrapping up questions, the questions that we have in our queue. We'll try to get through these here within these last 15 minutes. Teresa says, why do you prefer MGM casinos over Caesars casinos? Lots of reasons, but mainly because MGM has way better benefits than Caesars does, and they have a lot more flexibility with being able to work with players and do things with players and adapt your benefits, whereas Caesars does not offer that. So that is the biggest reason when it comes to choosing MGM over Caesars. And Kimberly Angel said, we tried your build-up method and we were successful. We are now planning a trip back to use our free play and have realized the casino is class 2 since all the machines are bingo style. And I believe we lost the last part of the question there. Well, congratulations on the success. Yes, you can still do very well at Class 2 facilities. Those bingo machines can be very, very good. So it's not, Class 2 is not worse than Class 3 or anything like that. There's just a difference in how you approach it. So congratulations on your success and best of luck to you going back to that. All right. Joanne asks, what is the casino host etiquette as far as tipping goes? I had a casino host reach out to me recently and may do our booking through her. People really do not tip casino hosts, and really there's no need to. They get compensated very, very well without tipping. So you don't have to tip your casino host by any means. And Nervy, I hope I said that correctly, asks, how is the RNG used for buying bonuses? Does it go by the same standards as if you were spinning the reels? Yes, it goes exactly the same standards as if you were spinning the reels. Now, this is what I would caution when it comes to buying bonuses. And I'll try to make this a brief answer with as much detail as I can. When you are buying a bonus, typically the cost to purchase that bonus is usually lower than the average that the bonus gives. So, and again, this is just an example with no specific game. Let's say it says, buy a bonus for $500. Well, if it's saying buy a bonus for $500, typically speaking, the average that bonus is going to pay is probably going to be around $300 to $400. You have the potential to get higher, but in most cases, it is not worth buying a bonus by any means. So I will just leave it at that, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to Mark.
All right, sounds good. And Joey Bayer says, on $100 Wheel of Fortune, was it your understanding from the interview the wheel spin is independent RNG that spins the wheel, not the reel? Yeah, it is a separate event. It's a separate RNG stop. And like we talk about, and this is true on any denomination of Wheel of Fortune, the lower amounts on there are just heavily weighted. So when you think about what the RNG is picking from whenever you hit the spin to spin the wheel, there may only be one virtual stop for that 1,000 credits, the big one on there. There may be 2,000 of the 20s or 25s. It's just heavily weighted toward those lower amounts. But it's not like a physical wheel like you find on the game show where, you'd like gravity figure out where it's going to land. It knows as soon as you push the button which one it's going to land on. All right. And let's see. Depot says, if you find a random $5 bill on a casino floor, what should you do? Give it to security, and what do they end up doing with it? Yes, you should absolutely do the honest thing. Also, if you find credits on a machine that someone left, you should also notify a slot attendant to come over there and take the credits, or a security person. We need to be honest here, especially with what I just taken the ticket out. That's not yours. That's theft. So you really do need to, you cannot spend that money. You can cash it out and then go take it to the cage or drop it by security and say, hey, I saw this on a machine. But don't take it and then spend it, because that is theft, and you could get in trouble for that. But same thing as if you found a $5 bill on the sidewalk outside. The right thing to do is to turn it in to the police, and if they don't come claim it, I think the way it works is you can come pick it up. But yeah, just do the right thing and be honest. And you know what? I believe in karma. I think that'll do you some good. It really will. All right, and Rocky Mountain Highland Slot says again, hey guys, if you were extremely lucky, in theory, could you hit the bonus every spin and also hit a dead spin every time? Yes, in theory, yes, that could happen. It's not probable, but it's possible. It's just like the flipping of the coin. It is probable that if you flip a coin 10 times, or I'm sorry, it is possible that if you flip a coin 10 times, it could be heads every single time. But the longer you do it, the more likely it's going to end up being tails at some point. It's just like red or black on a roulette wheel, same scenario there. It's the possibilities there. You could get a top dollar bonus 5 times in a row. But you could also get dead spins 5 times in a row, just like you described. That's part of being random. It has to act that way in order for it to occur. So, yeah, it could happen, but it's just not probable. And back to you, Brantley.
All right, thank you very much. And just let you guys know,
I was going to
go
take
ahead.
one more. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Mark. Take one more.
Okay, no problem, because I knew about these games. So, Crimson says thoughts on the other old real games with bonuses. Well, these are other Barcrest IGT games. Run for Your Money or 21 Gambler. Run for Your Money. The bonus frequency is actually really high on that one. I think it's like 1 in 28 to get it, but the bonus round is pretty terrible. I've played it a few times. I usually end up with 20 or 30, and that's it. It's very difficult to get in the middle there. 21 Gambler, I don't have good success on that one either. And it has a 5 times pay base game, so the volatility on the 5 times pay base game is already high. And that bonus also doesn't pay very well. So those are two that I really avoid. I just don't think that you're really getting a good return on your investment. Much rather play pinball or top dollar for those class machines. All right, back to you, Brantley. Sorry about that.
All right, and just really quick, guys, just to note, because this has been an incredible live stream. It has been very, very, very busy, and we have gotten so many questions and so many of you. And we are getting kind of down towards the tail end of our live stream. We do have some more questions that we'll take. But if we missed your question today, we do apologize. Again, there's just 2 of us, me and Mark, and our moderators are working feverishly. So if we did miss your question today, please do go to our website. You can post it for free. We have community forums where you can talk to others in your area. You can post your questions 24/7. There's a lot of good information on there, and you get to interact with others. So, and it's all free, and you don't need any social media, signups or anything like that. So, ropethejackpot.com/chat, just in case if we did miss your question today. All right, we do have a $5 super chat here from Vlad. Is the bonus on Dancing Drums where you flip the symbols predetermined or completely random? That one is predetermined. So that one is a predetermined bonus. Thank you very much for your super chat. We really do appreciate it. All right. And I got a question here. I have read that tribal casinos in Michigan are not regulated by the state. How does that affect me as a player? It does not affect you as the player, and this is a huge, huge, huge misconception. We covered this in its own video on tribal casinos. It's listed in one of our top 5 videos. It's top 5 tribal casino myths. Tribal casinos are more regulated than any other casino, and I'll give you just a quick example. If I wanted to open up a casino in Nevada, if I have the money, if I have the building, I can open up a casino in Nevada. All I have to do is go down, get my gaming license, and open my door, and there I have a casino. If an Indian tribe wants to have a casino, they have to start at the federal government level. So any tribal casino has a lot of oversight. They have to go through the federal government. They have to meet all the requirements that's in the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, the IGRA. They have to establish governing bodies that are not associated with the casino. They have a lot of requirements. Then they have to ask the state's permission. The state, they can choose to have a compact with the state or not a compact with the state. If they have class 3, then they must have a compact with the state. And then the state also has to get their hands in it. So there's a lot of regulation. There's more regulation with tribal casinos than there are with just regular casinos. Is it possible that they don't have, I would have to look and see if Michigan has a compact. If it's possible that tribe doesn't have a compact with them, they couldn't have class 3. If they have class 3 slot machines, then they're required to have a compact. That's a federal law. So I would not worry about that at all. Tribal casinos are extremely secure. They are well regulated, and there's a lot more people looking at tribal casinos than there are other casinos that are, on private land and so on and so forth. All right. Paula says, do you have to play max credits on one line pinball in order to get the bonus? No, you don't have to play max credits. In this particular case, you don't have to play max, but, and this is a big but, you should always play max credit when you play pinball. Always. If you are playing one line pinball, you don't have to play max, but it is a major disadvantage for you not to play max, because what it does is if you play max, you get 5 shots or 4 shots, depending on which version you're playing. But if you're playing one credit, you only get 1 shot. So it makes the bonus not even worth it. We've seen some videos on YouTube of other people playing pinball, and it's like they play 1 credit and they're like, well, that bonus sucked. Well, yeah, the bonus is going to really suck for you if you only play one credit or 2 credits. Guys, if you're playing single line pinball, you've got to always plan to play max on that. You don't have to. You'll still get the bonus. Technically, you'll get the bonus, but it's going to be a really crappy bonus. Really, really crappy bonus for you. All right. We do have some super chats coming in, super stickers. Esmeralda for $9.99. Thank you so much. You guys have been rocking it today with those super chats and super stickers.
Appreciate you.
Incredible. Clever Girl, $19.99. This put's for you. Take a breath. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Clever Girl. We really do appreciate that. All right. Last couple questions here. Mark, I will let you go ahead and take them, and then we will do.
Okay.
We will close out this wonderful Sunday
Sounds
show.
Great. All right, Stephanie has a good question here. What determines how high a progressive will get? The 2 times, 5 times, 10 times, $3 slot I got up to 156,000 before it hit recently. There are only 2 of these in Thunder Valley Casino in Lincoln, California, near Sacramento. So there's several ways that these progressives can be programmed. Some don't have a cap at all. They will continue to grow and grow and grow until somebody hits it. The odds are the same every single spin. So it's just a matter of time before somebody hits it. It could take a long time. It's like Megabucks takes a very long time to hit. Those don't have any caps. Now, there are some that have caps, which means they may grow to, let's say in your case, 160. But that still does not mean that it needs to hit soon because it's capped out. It just means that when they set up that progressive, they said, let it go to this amount and then stop. But a fun fact, even though it might cap out at 160, it is still growing behind the scenes. So it may still go up to 200,000 or whatever, but the player can only get the max that is on there, 160. But you will notice that if you were lucky enough to get it, that when it resets, it adds whatever amount it grew over the 160 to that base amount. Again, like we said, the progressives can't just go to the house. They have to be played back to the player or paid back to the player in some fashion. So yeah, it could go very, very high. We've seen, I've seen the MGM Grand has linked progressives on a lot of the top dollars and double top dollars, and the $5 machine starts at 50,000, and it usually hits fairly often. But there was one time I was there that it was up to 320,000, which is the highest I've ever seen it there, which is really big. But the odds are still the same. Every single spin is still the same. It just sometimes it'll just take a while. And the last question here from Depot. I wonder what security in the casino will do with all those credits. So they actually do combine them and they give them away as tips, you know, at the end of the day, if nobody claims them, those types of things. So it's just something for the house to, you know, the stuff adds up. You know, some give away to charity, some split it up. You know, there's a lot of different ways. It just really depends on the casino. But they do give it back to the slot attendants and stuff like that. All right, back to you, Brantley.
All right. Well, guys, what a fantastic live stream. We really appreciate each and every one of you for joining us today. It was a very, very busy live stream. So many good questions and a lot of new people in here. Our live streams take place every Sunday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. We do it all in Central Time just to make it easy so that way everybody can coordinate their own time zone to it. 7 p.m. Central every Sunday and Wednesday. We did have a lot of those last-minute questions come in. We do apologize. We could not get to those. We were just bombarded tonight with questions, but be sure to come in early. Come in early and start asking those questions next time, every Sunday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. And as always, you can visit our website 24/7 and ask your questions right on our forums. Guys, there are over 10,000 posts on our forums now. That is incredible. We just launched this new website. It is an open platform for all to use. It is 100% public and 100% free, where you can go on and ask your questions in state-specific groups, country-specific groups, all of that. It's 100% free to participate in. So go check it out. You can ask your questions 24/7, 365. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for such a great live stream. We really appreciated having each and every one of you here, and thank you so much for the overwhelming amount of super chats and super stickers that we received tonight. As always, you can always support our channel through donating at our website. You can also support it through buying products from our store. We really appreciate those as well. Our next live stream will take place on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central. As always, best of luck, stay safe, and we'll see you again next episode. Take care, guys.